Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Welcome to another 2023 Project Orchids video. This is orchid number 6, Dendrobium Prima Donna, and it's video number 3 in the sequence. So this is like a July update, and it's a nobly type. People have, or appear to me, to have more trouble than these are actually worth. I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean is it's almost as people are imagining problems with them when there really isn't a problem. The mass-produced complex nobly type hybrids do not need real special treatment, if you see what I mean. Now, this is the growing season. It's a July update. Last time we looked at this back in whatever it was, May, beginning of May, we actually repotted it. Now, under normal circumstances, in most people's growing environments, that would probably be a month late, and the position it was in then would have been beginning of April rather than beginning of May. And it's the same with this update now. Had that been true, then at the beginning of July, instead of new growths just starting, this one would look like this one, and this one would be heading up towards this one. This is last year's, in fact. So, yeah, this is their growing season. Now, during the growing season, they don't need really bright light. This is the only thing to help you get more blooms. In the growing season, don't give them bright light. Keep them in a subdued light. I don't mean shady, not that bad, otherwise you might get weak spindly growths, but they don't need bright light to grow. And then obviously when we get into later in the year, we'll have a chat about going into winter and slowing them down, and that's when we'll talk about bright light, but not now. This is the growing season. So what's this doing following its repot then? Well, this growth, which is progressing, has just started some roots, and consequently, being quite high up on that part of the plant, those roots haven't got down into the new media yet. However, this new growth over here that's much closer to the media is actually pushing roots down into the pot. Either way, we'll get a new set of roots. The old set of roots are not hanging in there very well. Most of them have they're just tired. There's not much activity going on, but there is from the new growths, and that's what you would expect with a nobly type. The roots come either when the new growth starts or not long after. Some of them you might not get your roots until the canes are quite large. Now, these canes are capable of growing taller than this. We did have an accident with this one. That one's been chopped off. But as far as this is concerned, it's been disturbed. To get 2 full-size canes in this year's growing season, I'll be happy, as long as the canes generate a new root system, which it looks like it's doing that now. So that's all I can expect from this now. Now I use the expression feed and water well. What I mean by that is don't have dry periods. Now, it's okay to head towards dryness when things are in active growth, but don't let them get there. They shouldn't dry out. They should always have access to moisture. And when I say feed and water well, I would suggest that there is some feed in most waterings. You still might need a flush every now and again, but that's totally dependent on your media, basically what you're growing in. You can't determine a watering frequency with orchids unless you know all the other factors. If somebody says, how often should I water my nobly, you won't get an answer, because I'd need to know your lighting, I'd need to know your temperature range, night and day, yeah, I'd need to know the media, I'd need to know how long it's been in that media, and is it in active growth? Is it just starting to grow? Is it finished growing? You won't get a direct answer because there isn't one. It's not like being awkward. I can be if you like, but Anyway, so that's just a quick update on this. We have a new growth just starting, one pushing on, and a cane that's matured that has yet to bloom. This may bloom later this year. It might not bloom till next year, but it should still bloom nonetheless. So there we are. That's Dendrobium Prima Donna, a mid-season care guide. Just if they're in active growth, just keep them growing, give them the help that they need, and just, as I said, as a warning shot, these are going to need bright light come January, February time to induce those blooms. And if you keep them in subdued light during the growing season, and as they head into winter, you fool them into a massive increase in light when you can give them the brighter light. So by holding them back light-wise, you can give them an extra kick when you do increase the light. That's the idea of not too much light in the growing season. There we go then. Thanks for dropping by. See you next time.